Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's What's Up Wednesday interview session. If you're new to these, we just meet with various members and partners of our Early Learning Ventures network and share out all kinds of resources and tools and advice and things like that for the childcare industry. Today, we're going to be meeting with the director of CCA for Social Good, Erin Holt, who's going to give us all kinds of resource platform highlights, tools, and advantages for the childcare industry. So, hey, Erin, and welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Of course. All right. So to get started here, briefly explain your role and what you do for CCA for Social Good.
Sure. As you mentioned, I'm the director, so I really do work hand in hand with Denise Sayer. She's the vice president of our division and the actual innovator of the platform. So day to day, I focus on a number of different things, supporting the needs of our state partners, like your group, in everything from platform engagement, marketing efforts, content strategy, and of course, any technical needs or training that might come up along the way.
Perfect. Yeah, great overview. So for those who may be totally unaware, what is the resource platform?
The resource platform was developed over 12 years ago now as an online toolkit really that supports childcare business sustainability. So really any user can access upwards of 2,500 resources that can support day-to-day operations, support training, has tools and resources that help with the development of policies and procedures in everything from health and safety, fiscal sustainability, human resource functions, and there's even access to a number of savings programs on there that are really geared at saving them money. So giving them, put money back in their pocket for the things that they're purchasing day to day, anyway, to run their business.
We kind of call it a one-stop shop for the industry. So it's a huge tool. Yeah, that's great. So
we've been referred to in the past as sort of like the Google of childcare, which is, we're not that, but it's really the goal of the platform is that there's a little bit of everything to support everything that a childcare provider really needs to do in the day to run their business.
Yeah, they have several different hats they wear every day. So it's definitely a good tool to have.
Absolutely.
All right. So is there an iteration of this for every state, or kind of how does that break out?
We do not have an iteration for every state. Currently, we have 32 iterations of the platform. So we work in 31 states, and then we have a specific platform for Washington, D.C.
Gotcha. Okay. So what all, you mentioned a few of them. So what all resources are available on this for, again, people who aren't totally aware?
Sure. So the resources are really categorized into four main topics. So you have family engagement tools and resources, which are exactly that. They help with parent communications, getting families engaged in what's happening in their child's day-to-day when they're at their child care center or at the family child care home. So everything that can be involved in really increasing that family engagement. And then there's classroom tools. So that's really geared at the teacher and supporting the teacher, whether it be supplementing the curriculum that they're using, helping implement an outdoor classroom, or maybe it's a dining, having in-classroom dining and helping with all of the family dining. So that is really a classroom focus section. And then there's the savings programs, which I mentioned before. So there's an entire section that offers access to savings programs. And finally, there's program administration tools, which is the largest section of the platform. And that really is focused on everything, day-to-day operations, policies and procedures, the business functions, fiscal sustainability, and everything focused on running the business.
Yeah, it's really neat how that kind of breaks down into categories, and they're all equally useful almost. So what are the most frequently used tools if you had to kind of target one?
I think the biggest one would be, of course, the program administration tools and resources. We find that a number of the policies and procedures are very high need because those are absolutely needed to run the business every day. And creating a new policy and procedure can be very daunting. And this gives them the tools that they need to really build the policy and procedure, and then sort of guidance along the way about, how to integrate state or local policies that have to be considered. So we always see that section just because there's hundreds of templates and guidance documents in there. And it's very state specific. So there's a lot of things in there that absolutely comply or help compliance with state regulations and policies and procedures. So we have that section always at the top of the list of one of the most used across the platform.
For sure. Okay. So what are some of people coming from people who already have an account? What are some of the most commonly asked questions about the resource platform that the platform does address for them?
It relates directly to policies and procedures. We get the question, do these comply? Are these, am I able to use these for my state
Right.
regulations or locally?
Specific.
And
Right.
we absolutely let them know that the platform is vetted and it has, the knowledge to know that the local resource, state policies matter and need to be in there and available. But we also always say check. It's best
Yeah.
to have your policy reviewed, check with your quality best practice, check
Just
with
be safe.
your
Right.
state regulations and make sure you're in compliance. But we hope that the policy and procedure gets you about 80% there.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty good stat.
Yeah.
So what
We're
piece would you
hopeful.
recommend? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, so we're just hopeful that, it gives them the tools that they can be really more efficient and more effective in building, the needed policies and
Right.
procedures to make sure that, they're in compliance and following the rules and regulations that they have to, but
Got their
at the
ducks in a
same
row.
time,
Yay.
confident that they're running a sustainable business.
Efficient. Right. For sure. Okay. So what piece would you recommend that people within the childcare industry kind of utilize or reference if they don't already do that?
A number of different areas, but we added a couple of really great areas over the last year. We added a whole section on support resources through the pandemic, everything from updating your policies and procedures to how to manage family communications and how to really rewrite some more fiscally sustainable practices when it comes to collecting tuition and how to communicate with families about dealing with all the different changes that you need to make. So we know that this past year has been very trying for the industry, and we want to support the sustainability and make sure that businesses are able to continue to run effectively and serve the children that need to be served. So that section, if you haven't had time to really dig through all of the different tools and resources that have been made available through that, I suggest that you spend a few minutes, find something new, really dig into what's available there, and in hopes that that can help you support and be sustainable
Sure.
through
Especially now.
all of
Yeah.
everything that's happening has been very difficult. So we hope that those tools and resources are really
Help
there
check
in
those
your time of
boxes.
need.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll touch on the cost piece just a little bit. Here locally for Colorado, the platform account is free for all Colorado-based childcare industry users. But how about for every other state? How does that work cost-wise for an account?
It really varies.
Okay.
We're thrilled to hear that in states like Colorado that providers have access to it for free,
Mhm.
or are supplemented by other available grants and funding that is available
Right.
through any organization. But across the country, it's different. It's
Okay.
some are able to take advantage of grants such as that, or have an organization that is able to provide the fee
Sure.
or sustain it that way. But in some states, there is a low cost for
Gotcha.
a provider to access the resources.
Perfect. Okay, so speaking on that, where can people go to reach out to for more info and just to learn more and get an account in general?
Sure. For each state, there is a different URL. So you can go to ecesharedresources.com and you can look up all of the state links. We make them available. And on that state link, you can absolutely find access to your state's platform and sign up for an account, or at least get connected to somebody that can help you register for an account if one is available to you. And then, of course, we always encourage you to reach directly out to us with any questions. Or please, if you're in a state that doesn't have a platform, we would love to have a conversation with you about
Get
how
that
to get
started.
access to tools and resources that can support you.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great kind of toolkit of information there. So feel free, we'll wrap up here and I'll let you have the rest of your day back. Feel free to share any other kind of thoughts, resources, or suggestions for our network watching here today regarding the resource platform.
Sure. I just thank you again for giving me the opportunity to chat about it. It's really a passion of mine, knowing that we're providing, tools and resources in such an important industry, especially right now at such a high time. So I encourage everybody, if you have a few minutes, just to end with a little story, an anecdote from a provider that has been working with us for years. She really wanted to use the platform to its best ability. So she started waking up every day and asking herself the one question is, what can the platform do for me today? And I really think that that's a great perspective for somebody to go in, and knowing that there's hundreds of resources in all different topic areas available, that asking that question and finding that the answer to that question could be on the platform, and it
Right.
might not only give you a few minutes back in your day so you can focus on what you love and
Anything
working
else,
with the
right?
kids, right, but it also might give you access to something new that you didn't know was there,
Yeah.
and that it might be beneficial to you in the future.
Great. That's Couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much, Erin. We appreciate it. We'll see everybody back here next week.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time today.
Of course. See ya.
Bye-bye.